Hey guys, Brian Savage here with you. I've actually recorded this video twice to find out that my camera took a dive. So I'm recording this with my laptop camera. So it might not come out all that great, but I really wanted to get this done. Today we're going to talk about pics. And the reason we're going to talk about the pics is that I probably, like you, watch a lot of different people on YouTube, and one of the people that I subscribe to and watch is Dylan Talks Tone. Uh, Dylan of DylanPickups.com. Go ahead and check him out. He makes hand-wound pickups. He does a lot of things on his YouTube channel, kind of the same stuff that I'm into that I do on my channel, things like that. The other day, he's put out a video about pics, some that he had received, and he asked his viewers to go to his Facebook page and put out a video about the pics they use and why, and I did so. Excuse me. And he contacted me and asked me about trying out some pics that he had there, and I was game. And so this is kind of like my thoughts on the pics that he sent me. To give you a little background, if you didn't see my video on it, because I just put it on his Facebook, I didn't put it on my YouTube channel. My go-to pick is a nylon, a Jen Dunlop nylon. Now this one's an 88. I prefer the 1 millimeter, and that was sort of my go-to pick, but I didn't like it because it gets dull. It's a little too flexible, but yet it grips really well. I have a lot of different picks, from thumb picks to mandolin picks to 10 million different type of cellulose picks, Tortex picks, jazz picks, pretty picks that I don't ever use, wood picks, metal picks, um, acrylic pick. Those are picks that I use. I even have some nice Paul Reed Smith abalone picks. Of course, I don't really use these. But I think they're actually some kind of cellulose. I don't think they're real abalone. I don't know. But I don't think they'd last, and they're too pretty just to mess up. But anyway, Dylan sent me some V-pics. This is it going to make it out with the light? It says V-pic on it. This is the Pearly Gates. These are $4 each, and they are 2.75 millimeter. They're symmetrical pics, so they're the same. Each side's the same, and it's 1 inch. So it's 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch by 2.75 millimeter. It's just shy of 3 mil thick. It's beveled. It's pointed on each end. It's beveled on the sides. I'm not sure what it's made out of. It's very, very hard. It doesn't flex. It's very tough, rigid material. This pick will last you a long, long time if this is your pick of preference. It's not mine. The reason it's not mine is not because of any of the reasons to make it a good pick. It's the shape. The roundness between, I keep going the wrong way with it. The roundness, that round makes it want to turn in my hand as I play. So I like it. Wasn't a winner for me. Then my phone, somebody likes me. My pockets are vibrating. Let's see who's really interrupted my video. No one in particular. And then he also sent me another V-pic. That was the traditional light acrylic ghost rim. Now, this is a traditional size pick that it's 1 1/8 inch wide, 1 3/16 long. It's 1.5 millimeters thick. It's clear acrylic, but all around the perimeter of the pick, So when I say all around the perimeter, I mean all around the edge. It's beveled down. It was sharp. It's sharper than a regular standard type pick like this. Um, it had a frosting or an etching or a texture, whatever you want to call it, around it. And that's why it's called the Ghost Rim. And I really wanted to try it to see if it got the sound that I wanted. V-pics puts this as Billy Gibbons' chosen pick that they make. I thought Billy played with a sharpened, filed down peso, but stories you hear, who knows? But the reason I'm not showing you this pick that Dylan sent me is because I dropped it. And I'm not one for dropping picks. I mean, I will drop a pick purposefully to go from hybrid picking to straight finger picking. I don't like to tuck picks. I don't like to tuck them away because I find that one, it eliminates a finger, and two, I can have them up on my mic stand and just pick a pick up and go at it just as quick as I can go from tuck to untuck and not eliminate one of my four fingers. Um, so I'm not big on tucking. But no, this pick I straight up dropped. One reason is and it says on the V-pics website that this acrylic material, as you heat up, it heats up, it becomes stickier, more adhesive to your hands, I guess. And I played this one at a gig, first song right out the gate. It was kind of chilly, so my hands were a little chilled. The pick was chilled. The strings were chilled, and so it's not supposed to. It wasn't. That's not supposed to be its best state for being sticky to the hands. Um, the other reason is, and this is probably the main reason that I dropped it, is that frosted edge or textured edge. It kind of hangs on it, rustles on the strings. It gives a very kind of sound along with its attack. I dug the sound all right, but the feel, it pulled it out of my hands. Just that extra drag on the strings pulled that pick because I don't hold my pick with a death grip. And it pulled it out of my hands. And so that's why I lost it, and where it was clear acrylic. And this was I looked for it. I couldn't find it. It's gone, and if you play and you've played any time, you realize and they go off to the great pick beyond from who knows where. I've lost so many of them. Have them in your hands 1 minute, and the next minute it's gone, and you never find it again. Uh, you'd think that the cracked monster in the couch or something eats them. I don't know. Maybe they live with all the other unmatched socks. Could be it. It's conspiracy. Anyway, but that's why I'm not showing you that pick. I liked it. It was everything about it, except for the fact that you got to warm up with it. I think for it to really, because I did play with it quite a bit before I went to gig, and I liked it. But it did drag a little too much across the string. So I think I'd like it more without the frosted edge, or the ghost ring is what V-pics calls it. I think just straight up acrylic would be better. But I don't think I'm going to go in the acrylic line because, again, you got to warm up to it. You got to warm that pick up, and you got to warm up to it, I think, for it to really feel like it's in your hands and you have good control over it. And that is a $3 pick. They're on sale right now at V-pics. They're made in Nashville, USA products, so that's awesome. Check them out. They make a plethora of different types of picks and different sizes. I'm sure there's one in there that probably suit your needs. Now, the other company that he sent me picks from was Dragon's Heart. And dragonsheartguitarpicks.com is where you can go and check them out. And the first thing I want to talk about is two of the picks that he sent me is out of their new series. It's called the Waverin series. I'm not sure what the material is made out of, but it is very similar in its characteristics, its properties to Tortex. Very, very similar to Tortex in the feel in your hands, the feel against the strings, the flexibility of it, the memory of it, the return, all those factors that make up the rebound, whatever you want to call it, of picks. They're very similar in that. They do differ from Tortex in their durability and hardness. something can be flexible and still be harder than another material. It's just as flexible and it feels the same in your hand as Tortex. But if you, on the strings, this doesn't wear, the tip doesn't wear nearly. I mean, I'm sure it will. I've played quite a bit of hours on both this is called the Waver scale. This is the XL. So it is a item number WS for Waver scale 75. It's a 0.75 millimeter. And this is the XL. They make this in this size and one smaller. This is the XL size. And this is the scale. Same material, same size in the XL. This is the heart. So this is the WS75XL for the extra large. And I don't know what the regular size, I guess, is, comparatively speaking, on the XL. But let's see. Let's show you. Okay. So there's a traditional pick. You see the white there, how much that covers up. I'm lining them up tip to tip. See? So it's not too much outside the size of a regular size pick. And that's even, the scale's even closer. So if you're a traditional Tortex pick user and lover, then I firmly believe the scale is probably the pick for you. Again, I like a sharp pick. I usually sharpen picks like this. See how that's dull? I usually sharpen it to a point on the carpet, so it saves me. Now you can see I have played a lot with this pick. And you can see just on the very tip of it, the very, very tip, you can see it starting to bevel down and thin down just a little bit. I actually like the heart better than the scale. And these are $7, $6.99 a pack for a 12 pack for a dozen of these wavering scales or wavering hearts in the XL. You're $7 a dozen. So you're in the same kind of money as a good nylon or Tortex pick. Much, much, much more durability in one of these. The shape of the heart. And I'll go ahead and move on to the other one he sent me. And this is the Dragon Heart Faux. And this is the step down type of price. So a 6-pack of these is $12. So it's almost $2 a pick, just shy of $2 a pick. It's actually $11.97 for a 6-pack. I'm not sure what the material of the faux is made out of. Very, very hard. This is a 2.5 millimeter thick. It's beveled all the way around. Now, one thing I don't understand is that little notch in it right there. I don't understand why that notch is there. If you know why that notch is there, please leave it in a comment below, because I'd love to know. Because personally, the wavering heart does not have it. I don't see any reason for it, and I'd almost wish it wasn't there. If this pick gets turned too much in my hand, I feel like the string could ride up and hang there. Now, it hasn't happened. I've played a lot with this pick. A lot with this pick, and it shows absolutely no signs of wear, pick slides, all this kind of stuff. I can't tell it, man. And I've played this one more than any of the others, probably, is what I've played, because I fell in love with it. I did not like it at first. Some people, it's got the multiple sides to it, and some people would rather use that point than the little sharp point. Some people would use this rounded part. Me personally, I hold it with the sharp point out, down, the little point down, the rounded part toward the palm. That gives me the feel of a traditional pick in my hand, but yet the exposure of a stubby. I like that. I really, really like that. So that's the side that I use, and that's how I hold this particular pick. And it gives you options if you want to change all that stuff around, how you'd like to uh, do it. But I did, like I said, I didn't like it at first, and I think the reason is we all have this habit, I think, or at least I know I do, is when I try something new, especially with a pick, I play the pick. I don't just play the song or play the guitar. I play the pick, and I didn't like it, and I was using it, giving them all their just try, and I went to band practice, and at band practice, I fell in love with it. And I fell in love with it whenever I stopped playing the pick and just started playing guitar. I was at rehearsal. Um, we were putting together a new song that just fell right together and it flowed really well. And we were just all digging the vibe, man. We was just all in the pocket. And I forgot about using this pick. And I noticed how not faster because I'm playing in the same song in the same tempo I'd have been playing it with other picks and when I learn it and everything else, the piece. But I found that it was more less effort to make it happen at those speeds or to be able to change up my dynamics and change up my picking style as I was going along from strumming to staccato to whatever. Um, Now I still and hybrid picking wasn't a problem with it as well, but I still would drop this pick and use my thumb sometimes just straight up. I still wouldn't tuck it because again, the main reason I don't tuck is it eliminates a finger. Um, Now this shape is based on the original. You have they also make in the the premium line. You have the original, the pure, and the hardened. And the original has graphite in it. Uh, the pure is, I ain't even going to try to say the material. Yeah, I will. Polyadinamide, I think. Dynamide? I don't know. Anyway, that's the material it's made out of. Well, the original has graphite in it. The pure is just that material. The hardened has uh, uh, fiberglass, and the GT has carbon fiber. Now the faux, I'm not sure. And that's what this is. I'm not sure the material it's made of. It may just be that poly, might be stuff. Hard as all get out, and man, I'm sold. I am sold, sold, sold. Now this again, $12 for a 6 pack. You're looking at in the premium line, they're $8.97 or $9 a piece for the premium line, and I know that's a lot for a pick, but I'll say this: this pick at almost $2 a piece. Um, Knowing what it's capable of, knowing the premiums a step up from that and its durability and hardness and all that kind of stuff, you would go through so many cellulose picks or anything like that. I mean, just it would be unbelievable how many you would go through, and this would still be like a brand new pick, especially the premium line. So it's really worth it in the long run. I say give them a try. I really, really go and give these things a try and give them an honest try. And what I mean by giving them an honest try is play with them long enough that you are forget about playing the pick and you're just playing. When you get to that stage with it, if you still don't like it, it's not for you. Or if something keeps you from even ever getting to that, to where you never feels comfortable with no matter what you do, then maybe it's not the pick for you. But give any pick an honest try. Uh, a lot of it has to do with preference, different tones. I play different picks for different things. Um, I do not use, although I did use the Dragon's Heart on my mandolin, used it on my acoustics, my electrics. I don't really play a bass with a pick. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm not a bass player, but I do have a bass and pick around on a little bit. And I don't use a pick on it, but I do use mandolin picks. That's a mandolin pick. And I've been known to use it on my electric as well as using jazz picks on the mandolin. Um, thumb picks, I'm not really. I tell you, the only time I really use a thumb pick is when I'm playing slide. And I am not a slide player, but I hybrid pick and finger pick a lot. And I find with slide that the bass string attack can't be thuddy off your thumb. And when I hybrid pick it, it I don't know. It makes a habit of when I hybrid pick to want to play chicken picking style licks. Believe it or not, when I take the thumb pick and put it on and use these finger, I no longer chicken pick. I don't know what it is, but this I chicken pick. But whenever I do this, I don't. Strange, I know, but that's the only reason I really use them, and that's the one I use actually most of the time. What is it? A national, I think. National medium. The other ones are thinner here. Hey, my mail lady's here. Wonder what wonderful things of bills she brought me today. She's a nice lady. She just brings me mean mail. Mm-hmm. So anyway, those are the picks. And again, Dragon's Heart, I don't know if I mentioned, they're in the USA, out of Fort Worth, Texas. So again, another USA company. I like that. V-pics out of Nashville. And they make a whole bunch of stuff. You can buy directly from their website, so check them out. Big thanks again, Dylan. DylanPickups.com. Dylan Talks Tone. Check him out. And go out and try some other picks. I mean, picks are pretty cheap. I mean, we buy pedals, and I build pedals and buy pedals, and to as a cheaper way to get different tones. We buy amps, more expensive way to get different tones. We buy guitars, more expensive way to get different tones. Picks, cheap way to get different tones. Cheap way to make you play different. Sometimes making yourself play different, you learn new things. Uh, something as simple as changing the shape of your pick, the thickness of the pick, the size of the pick will make you try different things or change different things. But most important, it'll make you play. And even if you're playing just to try something out, you're still playing. And